Hello, my friend. My name is Terry Petrovic, and today I got a great training for you: how to get more friends, leads, and recruits with Facebook marketing. Probably the number one question I get asked almost on a daily basis is, how do I work Facebook? How do I market on Facebook without spending any money? And how do I build my business on Facebook? Well, you're in luck, because today I'm actually going to reveal the secrets for finding your ideal prospects and friends and recruits on Facebook, and you can do it all for free. So let's jump in. The first thing you need to understand is, who is your ideal prospect and where do they hang out? So you want to know the avatar, if you will, of that ideal person that you're looking for, that ideal business partner, if you will. And then once you know who they are, then you can go to groups and fan pages and see where they hang out. You can look at how people interact with other people to see if they're really your ideal person. You know, you want to pick people who make intelligent comments. You want to look for positive, smart, non-argumentative, active people. You know what? There's a billion people on Facebook, and there's some strange people on Facebook, and there's a bunch of negative, whiny people on Facebook. My guess is that that's not your ideal prospect, right? So you know who your ideal prospect is, what that avatar looks like, what their hobbies are. Now let's talk about, where do you find them? Well, the easiest thing to do is go to the search bar on top of Facebook and search for different groups. Now, some great examples are the Robert Kiyosaki group, Jim Rohn, Randy Gage, basically any thought leader in your niche, whatever your company is, whatever you're about, where those leaders hang out, there's probably a group. Now, you need to be just aware of a couple of things. You see, the first thing that comes up on the Facebook search is Kiyosaki Robert, and while there's 30 mutual friends I have in that group, that's probably not a group, that's actually could be a person. That's not where I want to go for this. What I want to do is want to go for the group where it's a public figure. See, that's a fan page, and there's over 902,000 people there. You think that is a massive pond or ocean efficient for my ideal prospects? You better believe you and I both could talk to people there and we'd never cross paths. So what you want to look for is, when you have the person's name, you see 902,000 likes. That means 902,000 people have liked Robert's page here. Now here's Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's no longer with us, but his legacy lives on. Over 400,000 people in his group. Eric Worre, great leader in the profession, author of the book Go for Pro. If you haven't get it, it's a great book. Over 150 or almost 150 likes in that group. Now, if you go to a group like this, you're probably going to be pitched by other people, and I'll talk to you in a minute on how to handle that. And that's actually not a bad thing if you get pitched. Now, besides leaders, there's also books. You know, the company that I'm with is Nerium International. The founder of our company is Jeff Olson. He wrote a great book. I read it in 2005 called The Slight Edge. So the people who hang out in this community, while it is smaller, it's 14,000 people, there's people in there that if they read that book, they're going to resonate with who we are as a community and a company, and they'll be great people for me to talk to. Now, your company has probably had keynote speakers come in for your conventions. Find out who those people are. Find out if they've written any books. See if there's a community. Plug into those communities. Now, there's also nonprofit organizations, big brothers and big sisters. With Nerium, what I love about it, it's a loving, caring, sharing community. We do a lot with big brothers and big sisters. And you can see here, there's 60,000 almost people in this group. And again, it's because the people in this group are a loving, caring, sharing community who really want to make a difference and have that ripple effect. I could probably find some really, really awesome business partners in this group. So that's kind of the mindset I want you to have about what your niche is, what you're about, If there's any nonprofits that might be in alignment with that, or books or leaders, that's where you want to be fishing for your ideal people. So let's talk a little bit about your approach on Facebook. Number one, be real. When you send somebody a friend request, always send them a personal message. Put their name in the subject line so they know you're a real person. Look at their profile. I mean, this is common sense stuff, but you want to look at their profile and see if there's any common interests. Again, you're looking for the people that you'd like to travel the beaches of the world with. You're looking for people, your ideal people you want on your team. You want to compliment them. Don't be weird on Facebook. I mean, a lot of people just are weird on Facebook. I don't understand it. But when they're offline, they're regular people. But when they get online, they get all kind of weird. Don't be weird, okay? So no matter what you say, you're going to make that connection. And you want to end with, hey, just curious, what do you do, Tom? And whatever you do, I'm going to say this multiple times, whatever you do, in that initial message, do not send a link about your product, your business, your website, nothing. Again, it's about building rapport. And that's really where most people struggle, is building rapport. How do you build rapport with somebody you don't really know? Well, remember, it's the same way you do it offline. You just ask questions. Don't be weird just because you're on Facebook. Find that common ground, talk about kids, dogs, whatever, hobbies, and get to know them better. And as the conversation unfolds, you're going to probably discover that they have some problems with their online marketing, or their marketing in general, or in lead generation, or their income is capped for some reason. And that's where you can step in and position yourself as an expert. You want to position yourself as a leader. Now, I recommend using tools like MLMleadschool.com. If you haven't been to MLMleadschool.com, write that down, check that out. It's a great way for you to stop chasing family and friends and learn how to really market online. Lots of great systems out there, but that's one of the best I've seen. There's a couple of golden rules I really, really want you to own. And when you're finished with this little training, you're going to be an expert when it comes to Facebook marketing. Number one, second time I've said it, never send a link to people unless they ask for it. When you engage and build a rapport, be real in your conversations. Don't be scripted, robotic, or anything like that. Just be who you are. And don't even pitch or bring up your product or your business until you go back and forth with the person 3-4 times. The people who typically pitch on the first or second email, it's like an instant turnoff. Don't do that. I don't like giving people links actually unless they ask for it. So what I do actually is I create curiosity about what I'm doing and those sorts of things, and I have people ask me for information. And that's what you want to do. But I also want you to understand that most people haven't received the training that you're getting right now. Most people are going to pitch you on their first or second engagements with you in the message. That's a sign they need your help. And no matter what happens, no matter what they say, never get defensive. You know what? 1 billion people on Facebook, a bunch of weird people on Facebook. You just don't want to be one of them, okay? And if somebody's negative, just let it go by. You can unfriend them. You can hide them. You never have to interact with them again. So you control everything on Facebook, which is kind of good. So let's talk a little bit about your posture. The goal is to make yourself out to be an expert, somebody with solutions. Learn and teach online marketing. And again, if you haven't used MLSP, get it, use it, try it. You can learn more if you want. Just go to MLMleadschool.com/intro for $2, like a cup of coffee. You can learn a whole bunch about online marketing, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, blogging, SEO, you name it. It's the best system I've ever seen. Understand that the person who asks the questions controls the conversation. So when you're engaging with people and building rapport, sending messages, you want to ask conversations about them. What's working, what's not working, what are their struggles, what do they plan on doing when they get started in the business? Did they really reach all their goals? What's their leadership like? All kinds of things. But again, make it organic, make it real. That's really the important part. Now, when they start expressing what some of their challenges are, it'd be awesome if you could point them to a solution that actually you addressed, that you solved. Again, you can take everything that I'm giving you here on the Facebook marketing. You can write notes on it. You can use MLSP. You can point them. You can do a video. You can do an article. And again, now you're coming from a place of strength, and you're coming from a place of being the expert if you want to do that. Does that kind of make sense? pretty easy to do. Basically, what we're talking about is providing value to people. You don't necessarily need to know all the information, but you need to be able to point them so they can click. So you point, they click. You point, they click. Make sense? Pretty easy. Expect to get pitched. I get pitched every day on something. And it's really cool because, when people pitch you early on, you know that they haven't been trained properly, and you know that they need a better mentor. That could be you. So when people do that to me, I respond with something like, hey, just curious, how's this tactic working for you? A lot of times people will say, well, you know what, I'm just starting out. I'm so excited about my product and my business. This is really not working, but I don't know what else to do. So ding, ding, light goes off. That should be a hint for you. That's called a clue, right? The thing that you want to do is you want to lead with value and solutions and not a pitch. You're going to set yourself apart from everybody else just by doing that. Talk about what you've learned in your online marketing training, where you learned it. If you did it from MLSP or some other source, point them to that. Let them learn the way you learned. And a lot of times people just don't know this information. And it's not hard. They just have not been taught it. And the other thing I like about MLSP is that it actually gives you the ability to fully brand their system. So MLMleadschool.com is a domain that I bought, and I have the whole MLSP system under that website. So the perception is that's me. Well, I didn't create any of that stuff. They did, but I bought the domain. And MLM Lead School, you want to think about what are the problems that most people have in your niche. So if you're into fat loss, you could do fatloss.school.com or whatever. So for me, my niche it's people in the network marketing profession, people in MLM who want to get more leads. So let's talk a little bit about your response. They pitch you on it and you say, you know what, I'd be happy to hear about your business. I was just curious about your approach on Facebook, though, because I've done a lot of online marketing. I think I might have a few tactics that could help you. Have you really done much internet marketing? I specialize in network marketing, and if that's what you're referring to, I'd be happy to give you some tips. Have a great day. So again, you're adding value. You're saying, hey, look, I kind of sense that you're struggling because your dance steps are not that smooth, Don't want to go all crazy. You want to just have a regular flow, and you want to do it in a professional way, if that makes sense. So if somebody does pitch you on it, and you can say, hey, look, I'll take a quick look at it, and you can look at it and say, you know what, I looked at your business and it's not for me because of whatever those reasons are, and then just tell them. Now, kind of what you've done here is you put a little doubt that what they're doing is not attractive to you, and depending on their strength and conviction of what they're doing and their success, that may, shake them, maybe not. What you really want to do is you want to show them that you can be a person that can help them have more success, if that makes sense. And they might have an interest in partnering with you if you give them help. Kind of makes sense? People like to follow successful people. So that's kind of what you have to do. Is you have to position yourself as somebody who's successful that can help them get from point A to point B. So while we're talking on Facebook, that's good. But eventually you want to get on the phone with people because that's where the magic happens. And getting on the phone is easy if you've built rapport. And basically, you can say something like, here's what I do. And if you want to check it out, great. If not, no big deal. But I think you might like what you see. And after you sent them some of your business information, you can say something like, here's my phone number. If you have any questions, send me yours so I would know who's calling if you're calling me. So what you're saying basically is that here's my number. Give me yours. So if you call me, I'm going to know it's you and not somebody else because I may not answer it otherwise. Let's talk about the invitation, or some people call it the close. All of this began with they pitching you, or you approached them on Facebook, you became friends, you had a dialogue. The next thing you want to do is you want to get them onto the phone. Now, if you have not really talked to many people on the phone, don't expect to be a master closer and recruit everybody and bring them into your business right away. It doesn't happen like that. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. You should be using your upline support team for three-way calls. Again, remember what I said, you should point people to a third-party tool, and then you should put them on the phone with somebody else. If you want to really be in more control of your own destiny, if you know what I'm saying, or if you want to be in control of the whole process, you should study what you want to learn. So the best recruiting course for phone recruiting that I've ever got is called Black Belt Recruiting by Mike Dillard. You can check it out, and you just go to terrypetrovic.com/black belt. There's several videos you can watch there, and then if you decide to get the course, you can certainly do that as well. But again, it's essential that you have posture and that when you're talking to somebody, they get the feeling that you're interviewing them and they have to justify why you would invest your time into them. In fact, that's one of my key questions that I ask people from time to time. But I'll get into that in another training in terms of how do you have posture on the phone and things like that. Now, let's talk about some specific tactics. Simple. Smile when you're talking to people. Have fun with it. Don't be addicted to the outcome. You know what you have to offer may not be for everybody, and that's okay. If you've built rapport, this person is probably now a friend. May not be a close friend, but you want to treat them with respect and integrity. Have that. And I see a lot of people, because they're not very good on the phone, they talk themselves out of a sale. Somebody says all the right things in terms of wanting to get started in a business, and they just keep rambling and rambling and rambling. They don't pause. Understand that if somebody's giving you all the positive buying signals, you just want to say, so, sounds like you're ready to get started. Pause. What's your address? You can write their address down, get your social security number, get their credit card number, boom, manually put them into the system. I never really like sending people to websites unless I'm dealing with a very, very experienced person who can do the online marketing stuff. I don't want people to get confused. So let's recap here, okay? Again, the initial message is very, very important. Make it personal. You want to ask questions. You want to go back and forth with that person 3 or 4 times before bringing up your product in your business. You want to establish yourself as an authority person, the expert who can provide solutions. And when it's appropriate, you want to talk about your product in your business. If they're not interested in your business, you can talk about the online educational system like MLSP or My Lead System Pro, or in this example, myleadschool.com/intro. Again, if you haven't checked it out, $2, cup of coffee, you can check it out. Tons of training you can get there. It's the best system I've ever seen. Get them on the phone, use the tools, use the team to bring them into your business. A couple of final thoughts here. Make sure that your profile provides value. When people ask you to be their friend, if you like what they look at their profile, ask them a couple of questions. Make sure that this is the type of person that fits into that ideal category of your prospect. Don't take junk. Understand that Facebook is now monitoring the number of messages you send every day, and you might, I know I have, gotten a prompt every once in a while that says, okay, if you want to send this person a message, you got to pay Facebook $1 or $5. I think this is something that they're testing. Doesn't happen all the time, happens sometimes, but I never do this. You can send people messages through their fan page. You can comment on their posts in other groups, and you can interact with them. You can even say, hey, look, I tried to send you a message, but Facebook wanted me to charge you $1. Please send me a Facebook friend request so we can be friends, and then we can chat a little bit. Also understand, if you send too many messages out, Facebook can ban you. They'll usually send you a little warning message, and you don't want to lose Facebook and the branding that you've created over the months or years. You want to be sensitive on the number of messages you send out. You also want to be sensitive on the number of friend requests you make a day, and they can ban you for this as well. No more than 10 a day is the recommended number. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you're interested in working with me and you want to have a mentor that's going to be committed to your long-term financial success, somebody who can teach you how to market both online and offline over the phone, somebody that can help you to become a very, very attractive leader, you might want to check out what I do. My team and I, we have the happiness advantage. We love what we do. We focus on making people better on all levels. You can check out my website. You can see what we do at wantbetterskin.com. Hopefully this information has been of value to you. Please leave me some comments below. I thrive on your feedback, so really, really appreciate you giving me some feedback. And again, if you have any questions about anything I've shared here, leave it below in the comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And remember this, my friend, we're in this together. I want you to become success. Your success is my business, kind of what I do. I love doing that. You can check me out on my radio show as well, on the homebusinessradionetwork.com as well. And let me just close by saying this. You have a choice. Make it a better than terrific day and a prosperous one, because you absolutely deserve it. Remember, don't be weird on Facebook. Leave a comment below. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.